Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd start on the veranda this morning because it's absolutely beautiful here, and what can be nicer than seeing several cats all running around or rolling around. I've been making these spirit catchers. That's what we've decided to call them. It's a bit messy out here because it's all a work in progress, but sometimes just can't resist seeing Gigi rolling around. She's so sweet. This little girl is Eclipse. She's our newest addition. Her and her brother were found, hello Finn, they were found last September. We were just driving along a busy road and saw two little fluffy scraps scampering along the roadside, and jumped out. She was so tiny, I put her in a wine box. Took the wine out first, of course, and then we went back for her brother. So, as you can see, she is an absolute pickle. So these are in here soaking before I replant them, but Eclipse or Clipsy, or sometimes even Clipsy Clopsy, she gets into everything. And I will mention the dandelions. This is a Saturday job. Every Saturday I hoe the dandelions in the hope that one day they'll all give up and just die. I let them stay early in the spring so that the bees can use them, and I absolutely refuse to use any chemicals. Obviously I've got too many cats for that, so this week it didn't get done. So this is what happens, a week of rain and everything goes crazy. But the flowers are looking good. I love pinks. They are just so precious, and I love the smell. Takes me back to my childhood. So, Finn's going to be my companion when I'm filming outside, I think. So this is just going to be a little walk through because I've been having problems with the new camera. Isn't this beautiful? It's Japanese Acer. It's got to go in the ground soon. Got to mention poor Piper here. She's showing her age a little bit. She's 11 now, and she's lost pretty much all her teeth, poor darling. And she never was really one for balance, but she's been falling over a lot lately, usually when she tries to jump and fails disastrously to land. She actually landed in my bag of knitting needles this morning. So she's staying outside today because I don't think she's feeling very safe. So this is my seating area outside. This is where I like to sit in the sun, but I don't get to sit here because it's usually full of cats. So this is my chair. This is where I sit and they get the nice chairs. So I've been making these little dangly things along with my spirit catchers just because, to ward off negativity. I've been feeling a lot of negativity here lately, so I'm just making more and more of these. Right, let's go and have a look at what's going on outside. I think we'll go this way actually. The moon garden needs a bit of a mow, but we've had dry weather for, golly, what, 3 months? And now suddenly, this last week, we've had constant rain, so everything's shot up. And I'm glad of the rain, really glad. But it makes mowing a little bit difficult. This is the only area I mow. This is just like the only formal area. Everything else, as you can see, is wild. I just cut pathways through because ultimately I just want to have lots and lots of wildflowers. So, sheep, have escaped, all but Willow. They've been shorn already because of it was just so hot and they were so uncomfortable, and the quality of their wool suffers if they get too overheated. And do you see this little guy here, little black cat? That's Jasper. He's Eclipse's brother. So they were both found. Here he comes. Come here, Jazzy. They're not sure about this camera. Here he is. Call him my little jazz man. Trouble is the sun is on the lens, so I can't see what I'm filming. This is really just a walkthrough. I don't want to do any editing because I'm rubbish at editing. And my last camera, I loved my camera, and I took it down to the river to do some photo shoots with my daughter of all my jewellery, and put them in the edge of the waterfalls, and the camera fell in. And these are my new additions. They're Hookbill Ducks. They're quite rare, and they're absolutely lovely. And being a bit of a Witcher geek, I've named the Drake Yaskia because he's a bit strutty and full of himself, and the brown girl is Yennefer, and the little white one is Ciri. And I think the reason that they're so rare is because they just don't lay any eggs. They are currently going through a bit of a molt, so I'll give them that. But in quite some time, how long have they been here? 3-4 weeks, I've had 2 eggs. So here he is, the little jazz man. Oh, Jasper, you are terrible. He comes with me everywhere, but if he jumps in, it's so secure in there he can't get back out, so I hope he doesn't. Come on, Jazzy. Oh, let's go this way. Jazz, let's go this way. Right, so Willow is looking naffed off because she's stuck in there being a good girl, and they've jumped out. Now the reason I don't want them back in the horse paddock is because although the main herd has gone up to Pierre's field for the summer, I'm bringing back my Eriskays. I miss them too much, it's very difficult without them. So I'm going to bring them back and do some training with them. Now let's go down to the potager. So it's a little bit overgrown, and the reason for that is because I'm currently living alone here, and there's rather a lot for me to handle by myself, whilst at the same time I'm trying to keep my art business going, because at the moment the farm isn't paying for itself. Ultimately, one way or another, that's my goal, is that the farm pays for itself with anything I grow and sell the surplus, or making products with the sheep's wool. It's an ongoing process. So this time last year, the greenhouse was absolutely full to overflowing with plants. This year, it's a lot more modest. It looks like at the moment I'm going to be living on tomatoes for the rest of the year. I planted some mystery seeds. Thought they were courgettes. I don't think they are. I think they're some kind of squash. They may be potiron, or they might be butternut. I'm not sure. My woad is doing really well. That's ready to be potted up now. And my sweet corn is looking a little bit desperate to go in the ground, so that's going in the next few days. And it's not a good idea to plant garlic in a greenhouse. It just doesn't like it. It hasn't thrived. Also, it doesn't like being slept on by cats, so that's something else to consider. So I've got some peppers, quite a lot of tomatoes, more tomatoes up there showing a few signs of stress. They've got to be potted on. And down here, my chilli and a couple of aubergines. They've got to go in the other tunnel, which I will show you now. Oh, and I'm going to get some blueberries this year for the first time ever. I'm so pleased. This polytunnel I planted up the top there beyond the sheep, which was the goat paddock where the ducks now are. And it's one of those really, really cheap framed polytunnels. And let's see, I sunk the frame into the ground, I sunk the cover into the ground. It was supported on the outside with wooden stakes. So we had a storm after it had been up there for just over a week. And it didn't move, nothing blew away, but the frame snapped. And it didn't just snap there, it snapped everywhere. So I've rebuilt it. I've sunk these posts in the ground. I've put this solid piping over. I've still got to anchor it to the wooden frame that's outside. So it has to have the wooden frame on the inside here, and on the outside the other side, because I got the measurements wrong and it's a little bit the wrong size. But hey, it works. Most of the wood is all recycled pallets, because I spent €69 on the polytunnel and I wasn't about to spend any more money on anything else. So this pallet is just holding down the plastic. I've put down a layer of rotten hay, a layer of wool, a layer of old compost, and then on top of that I'm going to just plant straight into the bags of compost. I'll spread them out, of course, and then plant into that. And this lovely little pathway here was meant to be chicken bedding, but the bag split and got wet, so it's in here suppressing the grass. And this bundle of hay here is more chicken bedding for them. So it's been an experiment in overcoming disappointment. Yeah, let's call it that. So, and again, as I say, I'm doing it all by myself. So if anything looks slightly dodgy or a bit botched, it probably is. So the posts on this side, they were too high, so I just took my little chainsaw and chopped them off. There was no way I was using a handsaw, it took too long. I've got a raised bed here to offer support to this side, and then I'm going to put a trellis here and grow nasturtiums up it as a windbreak, but also for eating the flowers. I'm going to plant into these hay bales, probably just some pollinating flowers, or I don't know, we'll see. We always have planted in the compost bins. We always plant the squash there, and this has popped up. This plant here. I'm going to let it flower, but I'm absolutely certain that that is madder. And the reason being is that I had madder growing over outside the greenhouse and cleared a lot of the mess and dumped it here. And this, I don't know what that is, might be a potato. Life's an adventure, so is whatever pops up in the compost bins. So here we have some more sweet potatoes, and this is a huge pallet bed. It's filled almost to the top. It's filled to this level here with hay bales, because we had a delivery end of last year and it was really poor quality. It made the horses cough so badly. So I've decided to use it, put it to good use. So this is how it looks at the moment. Really wild. And another reason for bringing the horses home is, putting my glasses on. The reason I'm bringing the Eriskays back is so that they can eat the top off that, and the sheep can start eating some of this. But you see, the sheep don't like the long grass, so I may even put the horses here. We'll see. So this has been a bit of a ramble. I'm sorry I haven't posted. It's been just over a year since my last video, but life just got in the way. Life just took over, and now I'm pulling things back into shape slowly. So I hope you'll stick with me for the journey, and take care everyone, and bye for now.